Hello and welcome back to Dial H for Heroclix. I'm your host, Kalder and Ian. This week, we're going to talk about the regular Heroclix show, the games we played, the stuff we did. Ladies and gentlemen, it's episode 554. Howdy, howdy. Let's get rowdy.
Do you really wanna click save?
Leadership.
Roll a 6, make a move extreme.
Token up.
Take an action from your team. I go straight to your start. Hypersonic speed.
Roll a 5.
Getting brave, hitting blades, claws, fangs.
KO.
Stick and move, click a few just to hit a stop. Need a 3 CCE on a flurry close.
Tear your dials apart.
Once the timer starts, do you really wanna click save? What's going up must come down. Do you really wanna click save? Baby, you gotta bounce. Find the word you soon become. Ignore the best, the judge is wrong, but you mastermind the damage on. Roll your dice for initiative, son.
Dial H for Heroclix is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day, including all the latest Heroclix singles and sealed products. Make sure you check them out at CoolStuffInc.com. Joining me, like always, in the studio is Ian Eggleston. What's going on, Ian?
I am in the studio.
In, like, the secondary podcast studio, I guess, now that we have, like, the studio set up now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll just get right into it. So, yeah, setting up that new camera we've already talked about. You know, it was like an alien language. It was a little tough, but we got it running. Everything looked good. You know, prototype V1 stream. If you guys missed out, we opened up a box of Spider-Verse, or a brick of, and that was a lot of fun. We
Many
got to play with
multiple
a lot of
boxes of Spider-Verse
12
within that brick.
To be precise, yes. So I think I have figured out, though, the quality issue that I was having. I was rewatching the stream, just going like, I know this can look better, and I think I have figured that out. So the next time around, we'll have it even better. And then we are working on Cam 2, the figure display, just making it easier to access, see everything. But the show's coming along, and that will, again, be weekly. And soon enough, we will be recording the podcast there as well. So you guys will be able to watch the podcast, which, if you're into that, I've got a few of my own that I like to do that with. Then you can do so, and it'll be a lot of fun. So, yeah, this week was a good week. It was a Heroclix week.
It was a Heroclix week, dude.
And we're coming up on a bigger Heroclix week in Florida here in 10 days.
2 weeks-ish. 10 days, dang.
Right. Yeah,
not this weekend,
days.
next weekend. Yeah, dang, 10 days, wild.
And so that's exciting. That's a lot of fun. But yeah, I was really excited this weekend to, one, get into Spider-Verse, and two, play around with it. I am thrilled with the set. I thought it was really fun to play sealed with. Well, we didn't play sealed. We did like a BR draft kind of thing where we pushed all the figures in the middle and then, you know, drafted out the things you want to play. I obviously gunned for Mysterio immediately, and he did not disappoint. He is so much fun to play.
He was just straight up disrespectful and sealed. Oh my gosh.
In the first
that
match
with the
we
two
played,
poisons, oh my goodness.
I had 2 spider bots, courtesy of Superior Octopus. I had 2 illusions, courtesy of Mysterio. And I boxed in the black suit Spider-Man next to Elevated. Didn't realize he ignored characters, so he just walked out. But he walked close enough to Mysterio for me to get a mind control off. Mind controlled him right back into the death trap and just did 4 poison.
So evil,
to Spider-Man. And now you're thinking, well, Ian, he goes to the Grave Train marker. Surely he gets to come back. No, that's where Grave Robber, Chain Snatcher, Venom comes in. Goes across the map, and he's like, you're really going to do this? I was like, yeah, dude, I'm going to snatch your chain. Took the Grave marker. See you, Spider-Man. And
Venom's
then Venom...
kind of in a chain-snatching pose.
Yeah, man.
Jeez.
And then he proceeded to beat... Mr. Negative, whatever his real name is, over
Martin
the
Lee.
head. Martin Lee.
Martin Lee, yeah.
Yeah, hit him over the head with the body of Spider-Man. And that rocked. So Venom was a lot of fun, too. The Mjolnir Spider-Man smiting people for 7 twice.
That was dirty.
So sick.
All right.
Goons in this set, dude.
I won't play Marlin this game. He's just dead. 7 damage.
Bam. Yeah, I really,
dude, the Goons are so
really
fun.
enjoyed this
I
set.
love Goon. Goon is just, he rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Just
little
CCE,
expendable spider Goon bots.
3 through 6 comes
solid.
back.
Like
Goons with poison, and the spider bots, when you kill them and they hit a 1 through 3, you take 1 pen. So it's a Mystics Junior. And they're wild cards. The Goons in this set
all
go
their improved
hard.
movement abilities, all this stuff. Dude, Spider-Bot's so sick.
I really, really like the spider bots. My favorite's obviously the illusion. I cannot wait to get my hands on a Chase Mysterio. Oh, yeah, we're going to be cooking with that figure, no question about it.
Yeah.
The alpha strikes you can do, the defensive setups you can have.
Oh, it's nuts.
He might give up some points with illusions dying. I don't care. Don't care at all. The fact that it's like you can free generate like 3 of these guys, just poison, poison, poison. That's amazing. And he can poison himself. He has triple mind control. So this set has, I wasn't like super hype on it. I was excited for it. But it has been a pleasant surprise. I think the CUR in it, it's so fun. And we don't even have all of it yet either. No. So I'm really excited to keep building with it. And the one-shots, too. We got to talk about those.
When I read those, my brain was just like, no, this can't be real.
No way.
The From Another Universe, whatever it's called, that call and help one, where it's 10 points, and you get to choose another character that shares a key, like a name of a character on your main force.
Of less points. And it's at the beginning of the turn, too.
Okay, beginning of the turn, you choose a character that shares a name with another character. The character on your main force can't do anything that turn, but then you basically need to call in another version of that character to do something. Obviously, both of our brains right away went to, like, Captain America, you can call in, like, Pegasus for a turn, which is really solid. Like, that's really good. There's a ton of other options. Obviously, there's, like, Batman to choose from.
Mysterio can bring in Mysterio.
Mysterio, his lower point, I guess. There's all sorts of different ones to it, and I think there's a ton you can play around with. Like, obviously, listener, let us know, like, what you think would be a good character. There's, like, Wolverines, Spider-Man, obviously, that share a ton of names, but I was really trying to think of more good examples as I was playing, like, Heroclix today. I was just playing Pulp, so I didn't get quite as many examples. But I was like, I guess Deadpool. But then there's, like, Sheriff Deadpool, or there's Mime Pool. So there's really no Deadpools. I could totally work with it. It's kind of difficult. I want to explore the whole,
I have to do just a deep dive
more.
But there's definitely some crazy stuff you can do with it. The web swinging one shot as well.
Yeah. Dude.
Oh my gosh.
The leap climb to just evade an attack. That's nuts.
Yeah, you just get to place somebody with leap climb 2 and they evade the attack. That's
dude, that plus fortify, but like
honestly, I don't even think fortify is like that good.
Oh, I think fortify is still really good.
I think it's good, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I don't think it's that good.
For the same point, I feel
like 4 damage. I feel like so much of the game right now is doing 3. And you can, I think, manipulate a lot.
Does it have to do 4 or more
4
damage?
After reducers. So it's like, if you get hit by a man thing with an object.
Get hit by a truck, then yes. But
it's like, why am I doing that?
I see what you mean. There's a lot of nickel and diming happening.
Whereas Rivalry is just, I'm hitting you.
Yes.
Web swing is, I'm evading you.
Yeah.
Right, Fortify
I'm just saying,
is good.
Fortify plus web swing is like, man, you can really be like a stout shell.
Oh, yeah.
To just not be taken out of the game right away. There's
still
a lot of good
card.
Defense right there.
I want to clarify. I don't think
sounds like you don't think. That sounds like you don't think it's good card, Ian.
It's not as good as I initially thought it was.
Fair.
But those, the one shots in the Spider-Man set are amazing. Honestly, I'm really enjoying the set in its entirety. I think this is the best the goons have ever been. I think these are the best goons ever.
I kind of agree because I really like Goon. I really like Goblin Army Goon. He's great. There's a Spider Goon. I think that's it.
You have like the Mr. Negative ones, the demon.
Inner Demons, that's right, the Inner Demons.
18 with combat reflexes, shape change.
There's just so many good
They're
goons.
1 through 3s that give your whole team shape change. Also, the spider bots and illusions. I love Poison. Poison is such a fun power to play around.
I think it's pretty necessary with how many rollouts there are in this set. You need some way to get around it because that is still and will always be my main complaint of any spider set is like, oh my gosh, rollouts are just the most. I can't hit anything when I have them. I don't know how it works, listener, but I can never hit a rollout. I think I've made a combined total of 4 single D6 rolls this weekend. It's been brutal from the games we played yesterday to the games I play today. I don't think I made super senses I think maybe once today. It was so tough, dude. With 3 people with 50-50 senses, it hurts. It cuts me mad deep. But I am loving this set. You'll listen to, hopefully, listener, you will listen to the live stream / the unboxing video and everything. But as far as gameplay wise, the Spider played exactly how I wanted him to. I was like, wow. And probably more, honestly. I was impressed by some of the quakes he pulled off. He's a really
good figure.
But I love 1602. It's one of my favorite comic storylines. And the Spider, easily delivers on that. He was so good. And then I love Lady Stilt, man. Dude,
figure's dumb.
She was so funny. Yeah,
Not
literally
like broken or anything.
No, she's just dumb.
like-
she's literally just
Yeah.
she's like a silly
dumb.
she's a silly fun character. I will never pay 5 points to add during forced construction
No.
stilts. Not when it's a power action. That whole part is just like, yeah. Hey, adults are talking.
Suggested.
As a suggestion. But, dude, the fact that you can time breaker her and just get her up to like 1 million stilts right away, if you want to. kinda rocks,
hey,
right?
that is cool.
I love the.
Is that good?
I don't know. She still just takes 5 damage and die, like, eventually, right?
But she's
it's
taking
one at a
one
time.
at a time,
One at a
yeah.
time, yeah. She's a 40-point piece. It takes one at a time.
Is that good? I think that's good.
This, I don't know, plus motorcycle.
You could make it
Giant
work.
Reach 4. She's just hilarious.
Trick arrows or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe there's something there. Maybe someone's
There's-
cooking up some
there
devious
certainly could
Lady
be, but
Stiltman action.
I loved her. Even just that simple game, I was still able to get ramped up after a couple of turns to like +5 and then getting back to +5 pretty easily too, which was a ton of fun. So I liked playing Lady Stiltman. I can't wait to play even more of the goofy villains that are in this set. That's easily my favorite part that's in it but dude, when she falls, the fact that she falls, the amount of stilts she has back,
That's really
and then like removes one, like she just tipped completely over. So funny. Oh, it's so funny.
Whoa! I do have to comment on the common Spider-Man Noir too. Holy crap! Like this is insane.
That shape change was too much, dude.
This is so insane for a 30-point common. Like, he's a perplexed piece already. He's got the flurry, precision strike, 50-50 senses because he's got Spider-Man TA. But yeah, this was realized while we were kind of looking at things. So he's got wall crawler, which if you forget that's leap climb. Free. Place this character in a square of different elevation within 4 squares in line of fire. So he can place himself. He also has the web warriors. We don't pick the ballroom, we just dance. Which is when Spider-Man Noir is placed by a friendly effect, not another friendly effect, just a friendly effect, he can use Smoke Cloud as free, and friendly characters occupying those smoke terrain can use Shape Change. So if you just have this guy on the ledge of elevated, he can just wall crawler down, free Smoke Cloud, wall crawler up, free Smoke Cloud, just over and over, and just give out Shape Change to 6 people a turn for free every single turn. Like, this piece is absurd. This piece is really, really good. So I had a lot of fun playing him. Playing against him also like didn't feel horrible by any stretch. Like, he dies pretty easily. But just the amount of utility this guy can have. He's not a bad attacker either. Semi-mobile with that leap climb or the wall crawler trait. So that was just very surprising. Like, wow.
No, the wall crawler thing, I was certainly thinking this was very much a like Winter Soldier from Disney Plus. Like, oh yeah, he's got to be placed by like a friendly effect. Like, he's got to be carried. Another. Nope. The fact that he just places himself, gets the smoke cloud for free, which is like 6 markers. He has like
that's -1 attack
gracious,
too.
dude.
Like,
-1 attack to all these people, and then
giving shape change.
Yeah.
This guy is he's a beast.
and it's only friendly characters get the shape change, so there's no bonus. Like, you still get the negative for opposing characters by putting in their square, and only a buff for the friendly character. It's just like, dude, ridiculous.
It kind of seems like he's picking the ballroom to dance in.
kind of, yeah.
He's making the
He
ballroom.
certainly is.
So
He's more than happy to dance in it.
I loved that figure. And then the last thing, man, we got to talk about the main man, Marco Meat Mountain.
Dude, Man Mountain Marco, this guy rocks. Just something nice and simple. The dude's just got no powers, not doing anything flashy. He's just got a full dial of invulnerability, charge super strength, and power, and he's just beefy.
Yeah, he's just 9 clicks.
He's just
dude.
a beefy dude. Just 9
Order
clicks
this
of
guy on the
invulnerability.
Arby's menu for
Yeah,
sure,
dude.
dude. No doubt about it.
Old Meat Mountain Marco. But seriously, he just rocks. Like, this dude's a brute's brute right here, Man Mountain Marco. He's just
A
big.
mountain man's man mountain.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Ian. Couldn't have said it better myself. You just know some dude like this is like, he's from Montana. He's from like Wyoming or something. You know, he's just
Yellowstone
like,
character.
Yeah, dude. Seriously, the quadruple deep V-neck, and he's just rocking.
Chest hair,
Chest hair,
painted on,
yeah,
props,
keeps it
hats
on
off.
him, dog.
Keeps
Yeah.
that chest hair on.
I keep my
No
chest hair
shaving,
on me.
dude.
Oh no, it's no shave
Doesn't
November.
leave it at home.
all year. No, absolutely not. He's taking it with him. He's like, I got hair on my chest. I'm a man. I'm a mountain of a man.
Oh yeah.
By the way, no, but
Catch me on the
he's
Arby's
such like
menu.
what? Just a great like. I want to see more figures like this, where it's just like, yep, nothing special, no traits, no powers, just beef. Mm-hmm. And I got beef with the opposing team.
Pure
and
beef,
it was
dude.
fun. I put the Goblin Glider on him, give him precision strike, combat reflexes, and I just kind of sat him there. And it's like, I don't really want to. No one wants to hit this guy. He's like a 20 defense from up close. He's invulnerability the entire dial. Goodness gracious. Mm-hmm. So I like him. I think he's a ton of fun for 60 or 40. He's just like cheap, got a freaking long dial, good reducers, and just man, he rocks.
Yeah,
Man Mountain Marco, no notes, perfect.
No
design.
notes, no notes.
Amazing.
So this set so far is shaping out. I mean, not that I was like low on it or anything, but better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Like really, really fun, really enjoyable. Lots of rollouts, sure, but man, the poison. Like
The rollouts is tough.
Stereo guys, I can't get over it.
I'll be curious to
He's the
see
man.
how pre-release goes next week when we kind of get to play in a more controlled, like a less controlled sealed environment, really. So I'm curious to see
sure.
how that feels versus us doing our draft. We kind of see what other people were picking out of the entire brick, right? So I would be curious to see how crazy the rollouts get next week.
Yeah.
Kind of just to see how it goes. But I am excited to play more of the Spider-Verse set. It really has been like a blast.
Man, there is definitely some. Well, what's nice too is that there's not like the Chthon bomb in this set. Or
That is so
thing.
nice. There
Atom.
really is no
Like, what's the
crazy
highest
high point figure in this set.
dude?
Yeah, what is the highest point figure in this set, dude?
Bedlam's 120, but he's not
Okay.
even like a
So is it
bomb.
Captain Universe, he's 200 points. It's
Ooh,
gotta
he would be
right?
the one. Yeah,
Captain Universe Chase.
I feel like he's beatable though.
That's what I was about to say. Just looking at this dial quick, I'm like, I don't know if I'm really scared of this guy. Doc Ock is 120. I think it's got to be Captain Universe.
I think so far.
Yeah, it's Captain Universe.
Superior Octopus, we pulled him. He was a little bit of a letdown, I won't lie.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I
For-
wish he had more initiative to generate the spider bots rather than
Yeah.
when he's missed, because then it's like, all right, I'm just not going to attack him. And offensively, it's like just taking damage with him feels pretty bad. Like
He does
going
not.
to in
No,
cap,
doesn't
he's
feel good at
low
all.
damage.
You
And this is
know,
supposed to be
This
like,
is a brutal version of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
This is a brutal version of Dr. Octopus and Peter Parker's body back to being Octopus. And it's like he's not
Yes.
he's not like, okay, give you a token. He's like killing people. He's like beating people up bad. Like he's
this guy's like
ruthless.
taking over.
He's
man.
evil, you know.
He's got the whole city.
Spider-Man,
under watch.
I think it was a Spider-Man 600 leading up to this. Yeah, because he was like very much like he couldn't use his body at all in Spider-Man
He's in that
600.
tube.
He's in that little tube thing, but his spider bots were everywhere. They were doing all his dirty work for him. So I would have liked to see, I agree, more initiative on making the spider bots from him. But yeah,
Just either point line, like, I mean, if you play him at 45, he's 11 for 2 with in-cap outwit, and it's like, what?
that's so weak sauce
But he's like ending on like flurry blades. It's like, I feel like he should have
with
this.
some weak sauce stats on Flurry Blades too, dude.
Yeah, so, well, it's cool he gets to use his damage powers, like, you know, just through all the spider bots, and then if you play him with Stunner, he just has global mastermind.
Stunners,
That's
Stunner's
wild.
nuts.
But I don't know. That's the one figure that I was kind of like, I wish this played a little better, but that's okay. Stunner, Pulp, All-Star.
I just look at that dial and I'm like, how is that 25 points? What? How?
It's probably going to be in modern to some degree too. Like,
I could see it, dude.
Super
She's an
strength's
impervious-
very good.
Yeah, charge, super strength, impervious, shape change. This is 25 points for 5 clicks of life with a stop click at the end.
yeah.
Huh?
Seems like a good candidate to give your Crimson Gem to, or no,
Oh,
Bloodstone.
geez.
Bloodstone.
Yeah, Bloodstone. Yeah.
Not Crimson Gem. So you just kind of cart around.
Just give her Crimson Gem so she has destroys blocking trade.
Yeah. Why not, right? Protected mind control, too.
Thank goodness. Oh,
I
thank
know.
goodness.
Because they
She
really
really
wanted
needed
to
that.
steal your Stunner.
They, dude, shoot, bro. Mm-hmm. When someone pulls up to the table with Stunner, I'll be like, I'm trying to steal your Stunner, bro. She fine. She won.
But then you stun their
She fine,
Stealer
though. Ooh.
with your Stunner. That's the only way you can counter a steal of a Stunner is by stunning the Stealer. This has been brought to you by Chain Snatcher Venom.
Goodness gracious.
This is the Chain Snatcher Venom playbook. And today we're talking about how to stun
That's
the
the
Stealer.
Chain Snatch the podcast. Whoa.
Whoa! Today we're going to be grave robbing.
Jeez. Chain Snatch of the game, dude.
I haven't played the Black Suit Spider-Man yet, but I know I wouldn't be getting chain snatched. I'd have
Oh,
bodyguards.
no.
I'd have my Stunner
No,
watching over my
dude.
grave. Nobody.
That was definitely a player problem, issue as to why he was getting his chain snatched.
Very much a don't hate the player, hate the game kind of thing.
I mean, he didn't have the skill to not get his chain snatched, so here we are.
Then we found out the chain was fake anyway.
Sure.
That's what happened, man.
Snatch someone, it's like, dude, it's a fake chain. Not even worth snatching.
Yeah, you give it back to them. I put the body down. I was like, have your dead Spider-Man body. That would have been kind of funny.
So many people that are listening to this that are above the age of like the average listener, they're like, sure, guys.
No,
whatever you mean.
No,
whatever you're talking about.
They've got their notepad out and they're thinking, these are really good tips for when I would like
so much
to
I can snatch
either
somebody's
steal
chain.
a stunner, stun a stealer, or snatch a chain, or rob a grave. Dude. These are everyday things.
I know. Especially in Heroclix
the modern
terminology.
world.
If you're new to Heroclix and you're not snatching graves and stealing stunners, you got a ways to go, bro. Yeah. You got a lot to learn about this game.
Yeah,
you're behind.
It's very advanced tactics, similar to a ranged exploit. That's a stupid inside joke. Anyway, Spider-Man rocks. I'm hoping I can make it over to the pre-release next week. We're going to try and swing it.
I'm sure no matter what, probably next week's going to be our set review, right? Like, this is almost a mini set review happening right here. Just some real highlights of what we were able to play from our brick. But I'm sure you guys can look forward to that here this up and coming week.
I'm looking at the set list, and there's a few things that I'm not a fan of. But that's bound to happen with every set. Yeah. And we will talk about those things. But as a whole, this is, I think, so far, like, favorite CUR. Masters of Time is up there too. This might beat it out. There's so much stuff that I really want to play. Master of Time has a lot of good stuff like the Batman. That's where the list ends.
Honestly, that's a pretty good segue. But first I'd say, Master of Time, I still constantly find myself building and pulling from that set because it's just such a strong,
purely
a solid
CUR,
set.
Purely CUR.
Purely the CUR, I think still Master of Time I like a lot more. Like
the JLA's
that Justice League team that you played the other day is like it's just such a fun, solid team. Like they are just so good.
Batman,
that
Green
Flash,
Arrow, Flash.
I was gonna crash out playing against that Flash, dude. Like so bad.
I love him.
The amount of specifically 5s that you rolled on Shape Change blew my mind.
Yeah, my single D6 are up.
Yeah, mine were
so
down. So
sell.
Dude.
Buy Ian single D6.
If you're betting, if you're trying to play the market, do not buy Calder's single D6 rolls. Like, don't even hold them. Just get out. Like, don't even try to hold until they go up.
We were cheering for Calder when he hit a leadership. That's how bad it was.
I had 4. So,
Avengers!
Really quick context. This is my first time trying to play Ice Captain America. So I played the team of 4 Captain Americas. I got 4 leaderships on the team. I hit 1 the first turn, maybe 1 the second turn, and then I didn't hit another leadership for 6 or 7 turns.
It was bad.
And then it wasn't until I think I just barely got the Ice Cap. So I think in total I hit 5 leaderships that game to just finally bring out Ice Cap to then get him on that last click.
Yeah.
And then he died.
And then he missed an attack, and then he died.
And then he died. And I was like, oh my gosh. I thought for sure 4 leaderships. I've got to be able to get Ice Cap out. I can, start the game with 4 leaderships, and then whenever I'm ready, I'll pop him, right?
Yeah, when you're ready.
Yeah, when I'm ready, I'll... But then I was like, 1 Captain America left, and I'm like, dude, just let me get him on last click at least. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
It was so bad. I can't wait to play more of that Captain America from the ice, because it's so... Cool. It's really cool. It's cool. Ooh,
no,
it's
chilly.
Icy. Ooh. But, yeah, that was a rough first game. Rough first go. But speaking of those Batmen, I played in a pulp tournament. I think at the very least in our area, we have a fairly diverse amount of pulp happening, kind of going on. There's kind of the staples, there's the Prodegatons, there's things like that I was kind of expecting to see. But I really enjoyed the pulp tournament, the pulp team. So Ian was back in full swing of being, Mr. Team Builder.
Oh yeah, I'm there. I'm
sadly,
locked in.
We weren't playing any modern. And as much as I want to play a lot of these Falcon builds that you were cooking, we're just not playing any modern right now. So, but as soon as they had a constructed, so we were playing pulp 300 modern pulp for a Black Panther chase booster. So I was particularly excited to play it because I'm like, yeah, man, I want to chain snatch some chase boosters, dude. I just want to roll up and be like, thank you, I will take that. I'll be going now. And so I knew that if that was the goal, I needed to implore my numero uno team builder here. The how's the saying go?
What was
Ian
it?
tested.
No,
Ian Vented.
He invented something, and eventually Calder nested.
Yeah.
The untested the Ian vented, untested, and eventually Calder nested. Yeah, because I never played these builds.
No, never did.
I never play the
so
teams
funny.
I actually build.
But we
I'm
played.
just like, on to the next
Played
one.
Pulp, and kind of like what I had just on the team, and then kind of what Ian ended up building was like very much like sort of the bones. So when I was first messing around, I was like, well, I've got to have Predegaton and Timebreaker. And then I was just like, well, I don't know how you
do.
I don't know how you don't play Shifting Focus Batman. I've also been wanting to play Shifting Focus Batman. I've never played them yet. They were literally so fun. Like, even without the Play at Home Kit one and the Super Rare one, I was still like, oh my gosh, these guys are stupid fun. Oh my gosh, they're so much fun. Seriously, if you've not played Shifting Focus Batman yet, go play them, like, as soon as possible, listener. They are literally so much fun. So I had those in the bones, and then Ian sent over this build, which I had to change because I realized we didn't have a Vanisher, but we'll get into kind of some of the tech.
Oh, yeah, I do want to talk about that.
The build was Sheriff Deadpool, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Spider-Man at 75 points from Black Panther. Master of Time Batman. I started with Pirate. I feel like that's just a really solid one to start with. Shuri. Jubilee is who I ended up putting instead of Vanisher because I didn't find him. Predegaton at 20, Multiple Man at 10, and then Timebreaker at 5. So what I pretty much ended up doing most games was moving out a little bit, being fairly safe, making sure my TKs were in a good spot to go, making my time breakers, sometimes barriering if I needed to, but typically not for what's kind of being played in Pulp. And then the entire idea behind it is that Deadpool, when he moves up and shoots, he can in-cap for free, token him up. Spider-Man, when Miles Morales goes up, he has triple target, he punches with Precision Strike, and then he gives each hit character an action token, so you can pretty much double action the entire team. And then Batman just shifts into Cowboy Batman. He goes blam, blam, quick draw, 2 shots for free. Multiple Man was great. I pretty much had him copying Police the entire time from Deadpool to give that -1 for all the range shots I'm pretty much taking. And then, of course, Shuri, Predegaton were my main telekinesis figures. Typically, yeah, I would give Cowboy Batman the Vibranium weapon, and so he would be shooting for like 4 damage, which just rocked twice for free. So I would always, like, first turn Shuri, make a Vibranium token, and then free just give it to Deadpool, and then she would, if it was already time for Batman, she would get moved up to Batman somehow, and then power action, make a whatever, give him the weapon, which just rocked. With this team, I don't love Spider-Man being on it. I let him, in a few games I overextended, and then in a few games he just kind of got punked right away.
I mean, that was the first thing where I was like, there's better options for this.
Yeah.
It's like, but Spider-Man TA is so nice. Like, this is true.
I loved having Spider-Man TA in theory, but again, my single D6 rolls, mega down. It was 1s and 2s every time Sheriff Deadpool or Predegaton needed to ever roll for super senses, while in Tim and I's game and second game, he probably made super senses with his Predegaton, his normal senses, like 4 times, and I'm just eating damage. I'm like, oh man, no. But the team was gnarly. There was one in the very first game, someone was playing the rare Thor from Black Panther. That Thor has 10 clicks of life, and I just dusted him in a turn. And I did specifically do the Timebreaker tech. So I just had Jubilee carry them. I did not have Vanisher. The idea with Vanisher is that you have Passenger 2, you can carry 2 Timebreakers after you make your first one in the turn. And then you'll have 3 by the time you go all the way over to an opponent's side, right? Like 11 squares plus a sidestep.
There you go, 1
like
plus 11 to 12, drop the Timebreakers in 13. They sidestep to 15, drop the third one, yeet them back 3 squares, put them wherever you want, and now you have like a TK and a running shot. You can just go light up whatever, just space them out. So it's like Vanisher plus Timebreakers is literally like, I mean, it's almost like the old Web of Spider-Man Nightcrawler. You can just go chain snatch if you will.
Whoa.
Snatch whatever you'd like.
Vanisher, Timebreaker, chain snatch bust.
30-point combo. And the thing is like Vanisher isn't like useless outside of that. Like, it's also just, a nice taxi with outwit.
No, he's got an outwit, yeah.
Pop him out with Timebreaker, outwit, whatever, and then, chances are you can get something else across the board, and that's one action to do that. Yep. So Vanisher is legit. Timebreaker obviously is like probably should be like banned in the format.
Dude, he needs to be, honestly, like, so no one else was playing him, which made no sense. So I repositioned in opposing characters several times. When I would go to Caveman Batman and had no charge, right? And then I would Timebreaker him up for a flurry, which rocks. So I was like, no charge needed. He gets to just free, like autonomous action gets placed like 4 squares away, and then he gets to flurry, which rocked, right? Yeah. Like, There was so much fun you could do. I had a blast playing Pulp. I think Pulp's number one. I think it's in a really healthy state right now. I think there's nothing crazy. And honestly, we also talked about it. Even if someone did play Thanos, I would have felt like fine killing him. Oh no, Prodegaton is gross.
Prodegaton, Timebreaker
is gross. Oh no,
should go.
Yeah, Prodegaton and Timebreaker are nasty things in Pulp, but
by that I mean your team is wrong if you don't have
the
those.
Team.
That's
doesn't,
how good they are.
The team doesn't, but it doesn't feel like in Pulp where it's literally Blackheart, Necron, Orb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like that,
Mr.
which is
Sinister.
good. I'm okay with small things being used when it's like not every main attacker, every main like majority of the points is just this. That's what I don't love. But it's like, you know, it was kind of like Modern, where it's like, sure, every team just has Scott Porter. You know what I mean? Which, like, yeah, that sucks. But then sometimes, and it's kind of like in the old eras where, like, yeah, every team has a gauntlet, but also I could put the gauntlet on anybody and kind of make them good, which it was kind of fun for a bit. But typically that did just mean the good things got better and the mid stuff got good.
Well, you know, one of the most diverse top 16s we ever saw in World's history was the Gauntlet year.
Yeah.
So even though the Gauntlet, I mean, hated by myself as well.
Yeah.
Because it literally was like, oh, you rolled a 6 for your Gauntlet and I rolled a 1. Okay, well, I'm already at an uphill battle just based on a die roll.
The kind of the same thing with like the batteries. When the batteries and the entities were out, there was like a lot of stuff that wasn't super like. I remember seeing some random tournaments here and there, like kind of icy regional ROC or like WKO level tournaments where there's a pretty diverse top 8, like which is pretty cool, which I always like to see.
But then there was some real degenerate stuff.
Oh yeah, there's some nasty stuff, dude.
KC Flash with Hadara and Despotellis was just
the Yellow Lantern battery on that Superman.
Oh like, yeah, it's -2 attack. There were some dark things.
It was also gross, but.
Anyway.
I had a blast, dude. Shuri handing out the weapons is so fun. Like, she's such a blast to play. The Shifting Focus Batman, oh my gosh, so fun. Love playing Sheriff Deadpool. Solid amount of prob. You know, he stays up. He's got a good amount of life to him, too. So, I just had a blast playing Pulp. And then, yeah, sure enough, I will say this was a really fun thing. So, my second game, like, you can kind of always tell when a game's getting close to time, you know, and he only had his Prodegaton left and his Zarathos. But his Zarathos, I had got him down to his last click. But Deadpool was double tokened. And then Spider-Man was dead, Batman was dead, Jubilee was dead. So the only like good attacker I had to get into position was Prodegaton. And he's like 10 for 2 because he's on, you know, TK leadership. TK. And so what I did was like, all right, multiple man, copy police, Prodegaton, perplex up attack. He outwitted his prob. And so he had a Prodegaton prob and a Zarathos prob. And so Zarathos on his last click is a 16 toughness. So I was a perplexed up 11 to a 15 with PD down. I needed to roll 4 3 times for the win. And it was terrifying. It was like the scare. But I was like, the odds are really in my favor. I deal 2 damage. I do need to just do 1 and then I'll kill it. But I could really tell like I had to get this positioned fast because in the middle of all those probs, that's when last action was called. And I was like, all right, here we go. You know, it was just terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, man.
But there were some fun, close games. There's a lot of good stuff. I had a blast playing Pulp. Yeah, I did. I did win. I wiped every team I played except for that, I guess, that Prodegaton was at 40. So I got 300, 260, 300 in the games I played today, which was really good. Felt great to play some fun games and to like play quick, fast, concise, and then win. Chase Booster, pretty solid. It was Zeus, Prime Black Panther, which rocked, Rare War Machine. And then now I really want a second Black Panther dice because they're like really cool in silver, which is kind of neat with that Black Panther face. I do like the way they look. And then I got Raven and I got Manifold as my
Manifold's solid.
So
I like Manifold.
I was pretty happy with it for a $16 buy-in for playing some Pulp, which another cool thing about Pulp is that no one can really super complain about it because these are all pretty accessible figures. Like that's at least one thing where now that the X-Men stuff has rotated where it's like, oh man, that was a special event and those were like a $20 rare for Mr. Sinister. After that,
Manifold.
Everything's pretty, like I have like 4 Prodegatons from all the Master of Time and stuff we bought or even more, you know what I mean? Or a stupid amount of tiebreakers.
Master of Time, that or Wonder Woman 80, and then Captain America and the Avengers. I think those are the sets I've opened the most of.
Yeah, easily.
I think I bought like 60 boosters of Captain America and the Avengers. I know you bought probably around the same.
I bought 3 cases of Captain America and the Avengers. 60 boosters. So 60 boosters. Wonder Woman about 4 cases of. Because that set was like, you'd be stupid not to.
I got 2.5. I get 2 cases and a brick of Wonder Woman 80.
Okay.
And then, Masters of Time, I honestly don't know how much we opened.
Dude, so much. It was like
probably like
blur.
6 or 7 cases worth.
At least.
Like an absurd amount. Between Worlds and Gen Con.
Worlds, all the pre-releases. Oh, the amount of pre-releases I played in and won and then got the Super Booster, and it was Beast Boy 3 times. Painful.
Love him, man. He's your favorite character.
Yeah, my favorite character.
It's
Beast Boy.
I think just some commentary on Pulp, too. I do 100% agree with what you've said about it's not as bad when it's not like the same team copy-pasted, the same primary attackers. Here's Blue Marble, here's Red Widow, whatever.
Yeah.
There is, I think, a lot of openness in Pulp. I think Spider-Man's really going to shake it up. Trove, looking through that, there wasn't a ton there, I'll be honest.
I was surprised no one was playing the Guardians. Like, I know Groot can get lit up, but
I just don't
seeing
think they have
that
enough
he was
support.
like a full speed charge, though.
I think you could subset partial Guardians in. I mean, you could play all of them if you really wanted to.
I would have played, so like there was some Cosmic Rider played. I don't like Cosmic Rider in Pulp. I think the 17 defense is too low.
He's going to get flattened.
He just gets, he gets destroyed. But like, I really like Groot. He can pick up an object to be a 5 damage. He could potentially get a global power if you end up playing Drax. I think Drax might be a little expensive to play in Pulp necessarily. But like, if you just play like Groot, Rocket, Star-Lord or something like that, and then he's got like a +1 speed, so he's like a 9, so he's going out 11 squares, TK, basically full map, like 15 square reach if you want to go crazy with Groot. And then he also isn't scored. You make a little baby Groot, and then he's not scored until you kill that baby Groot. So there's some pseudo point denial there with like kind of in theory like a 12 click long figure that you have to like mow through this Groot. Yeah, he can be outwitted. Yeah, he can do all these things. But I was really impressed with like Groot, especially during my sealed game. So I was surprised not to see more of him. This Giant Man, I would have thought we would have seen more. I think he's just really solid with his like special TK and everything. I don't know. Maybe there's just not the style a lot of people are playing.
It's just a low impact Pulp set, I think.
It is. I mean, that's fair.
But Spider-Man is, I mean, we don't need to talk about that anymore, but Spider-Man's super duper high impact, I think. I think there's a lot of stuff in Spider-Man you could see. Fair. Spider-Man Noir, most notably. It's so insanely good. But Pulp, as a whole, like looking through things, I will say just in general, Pulse Wave, hard to access. Good Perplex.
Not a lot.
There's a handful. Probability control, everywhere. You can find a ton of prop. Masters of Time gave us so many options there. But attackers, there's a lot. I think right now, if I were to call it, the staples, obviously Prodegaton Timebreaker. I'm going to say that Shifting Batman is probably a staple as well. That Jubilee, the Sidestep, Pulse Wave, Barrier, Perplex, she does a lot of things.
I love Jubilee. I really like Jubilee. She performs super well.
Shuri, I think, is another one. But man, it's crazy.
She kind of seems like an auto-include. A TK, like in one turn, in your opening turn, you have a Sidestep TK Perplex with just like a +1 damage now, permanently for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good.
Very, very, very solid.
She's
good enough that she's in Modern.
Yeah.
So
like I love Shuri. Somebody was also playing, Tim was playing her with the is it Midnight Angel? Yeah. And he was saying if you ever like get tired or kind of done with Shuri, I can just like, okay, Vibranium, replace her with Midnight Angel if you ever need to. Which I'm like, okay, yeah, if you ever need an attacker, boom, go for it.
It's pretty reasonable.
But yeah, like there's some fun little options in Pulp as well. I love Shuri though. Holy smoke, she was so good
too, man. When we were building this team, another option, not in place of Spider-Man, but potentially, was the notorious rare Deadshot.
I did play against
range,
him.
See through everything.
That was a little tough.
He can be nasty.
Yeah.
Another thing too, the Poison Ivy rare from Notorious is also still incredibly solid.
I felt like Notorious was underplayed today. Poison Ivy plus like Harley Quinn are still like a really good.
The 50-point Harley Quinn who can free attack, but just making like a flurry bystander that gets an 11 attack, it's really easy to get in power. Again, things like Vanisher can carry that in place. Like, carry your multiple man, insert any goon with Empower.
Yeah.
I think there's like 2 or 3 now. So that's a flurry exploit that can borrow an 11 attack and easily be like a 4 or 5 damage. Very easy to cross the map with. So Poison Ivy is still up there. So now I think it is shifting a bit. Notorious again. The 200-point Black Adam. Reasonable.
He is very reasonable.
With some support?
Yeah.
Reasonable. I'm not going to say he's going to win at all. He's not going to be impressive. But
I think there is probably just enough.
Every time you hit him?
There's probably just enough support now. I will say one thing. This team was lacking a way to heal. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
When I was taking some Mystics damage or Prodegaton damage and stuff, I would have really liked to have some way to heal these guys back up, because it definitely came to I could have had a turn to heal some people. Batman, the only choice I had to heal was to switch him to Caveman and kind of hope for the best, or it's either try to Caveman or just stick, stand your ground. And I was like, I'm gonna try to go for the glory, go for the gold, But some way to heal on this team would have been good. I think Ramonda as a support, a handful of other support. There's no 10 points on May. Yep, exactly.
But
sadly,
there's a few good support options. It is a little limited, but you can find a way.
Yeah.
The common Mr. Mind, another
overall,
highlight figure.
Yes.
Also, Orb Madison, still insanely good. But it's weird. That's a 65-point combo. I don't think people are leaning on it as much.
The Supergirl was mean to me today in Pulp. This little Supergirl, this little 70-point Supergirl.
She was a consideration, but I knew you wouldn't want to play her.
No, I would not want to play her.
Exactly.
She's got an S on her chest. I don't play people like that. I don't mess with that. It felt so good the next turn just dunking her with Deadpool and then free smoke with Batman.
Yeah, dude. The free damage with Batman is legit.
Oh, it was so good. Witch Hunter Batman. Right now it's Wild West Batman, number one. GOAT favorite. Then it's probably Witch Hunter. And then I did use Caveman a lot. Yeah, it's probably
the quick exploit for right with now. The common Batman and the Empower he hands out.
I never shifted into common Batman. I think if he was ever on clicks 4 and 5, but I always felt like I was on click 1 or I was on click 7 with Batman, honestly.
Exploit Quake
if he was
so
ever
good in that situation.
That is solid, but I was there are times I was hurting for an outwit, and I was like, man, I kind of wish Batman would have taken a little bit of damage. Bang.
That is fair.
It's on Buck. But the Quake exploit is really good. And honestly, the amount of times I had to go to Bloodstone Maze, that would have really helped just clear out the map. Holy smokes.
I love that Batman. Another great Masters of Time suggestion, the Hal Jordan, just a phasing 8 with prob.
He's just such a solid figure.
I love playing that figure.
Something about Hal Jordan, that super rare, just a solid piece. This uncommon or whatever, just a solid dude.
They're getting Hal right, man.
Just a solid piece, yeah. This is just... That's Green Lantern right there. That's Hal Jordan.
I bet you could do some fun stuff with Sergeant Rock. Yeah, I'm excited for Pulp to be played out. I want to believe there isn't just a meta solve for Pulp right now. It doesn't feel that way.
I would like to hope so. I know when you go play at your locals, it's very much kind of what your locals want to play versus on a grander level, a grander scheme of things. So I thought at the very least locally here in Omaha, we have a fairly healthy Pulp environment, but it is curious to see, okay, what gets min-maxed at the top level, right? Which can, historically, the last couple of years for Pulp has been tough, yeah.
Pulp was, Pulp
pretty
was
rough the last
sad
2
to watch
years.
last year.
It was almost kind of dang, man, someone turn a light on in the room. It's so bleak.
I personally wouldn't want to play in that.
No, it was looking tough, but at the very least, this last round I played, I was like, I had a great time. I really enjoyed it.
I think there will be fixtures in Pulp. There will be about...
Oh, it's 100% per Degaton Timebreaker, right? I think
Batman is honestly...
I also kind of agree.
He's offensively insane. He's defensively great. You have great utility options. Shuri is up there. Jubilee is up there. All of those figures... but I think different archetypes might come through this time around. Rather than I'm just playing all the good stuff, you might try to do drop-off teams with this. I think there's more potential for that.
There's a lot of drop-off team potential right now. There's one-man army teams you could try to do.
I just don't. I don't know.
I don't believe in Thanos.
I don't believe in him.
I don't believe in him
either.
He
ain't real.
I think could kind of rip him up with this team. Honestly, I don't.
Star-Lord at 25 is 100% up there.
He's also so
25-point leadership, believe it or not, is good.
25-point leadership.
And he's also offensively pretty solid.
He just gives himself +1 speed, too. Kind of funny.
But I'm hoping that Pulp is more open.
Guardians.
It feels more open. It feels like there's good enough support options to where you can kind of shape around that. And then it also feels like there's enough different styles of offense that using maybe the best... close attacker doesn't also mean you're using the best ranged attacker. There's probably situations where you do, but I think that you'll be able to see some diversity in Pulp this time around, and I'm really hoping so. I would love to see some less solved Pulp matches, but we'll find out. But either way, Calder went 3-0, stomped him out. That's another one.
Chase Booster.
I don't know.
Good times.
The
You guys can see the
record here.
videos. Yeah.
Kamo won states, right?
Oh yeah. Yep. Kamo won that old. No, it was a
Well, that team
Clicks
kind of built
qualifier.
itself, if I'm being real.
Yeah.
Where it's like MOE, couple caps, Kamo, let's go.
Yeah. it's pretty easy.
Scott Porter. Not a whole lot of
Done.
thought there. I don't know. What else have I mean, I don't know. I built a bunch. That drop-off team was very much like I saw that post on Facebook where it was like, yeah, you can borrow attack with
Oh,
Prime
yeah.
Spider-Man and the Constructs.
That
Like,
was
okay, how can we make this as
stupid.
insane as possible? That was a lot of fun. That did well. That did
11th at
16th,
Nationals.
11th. There you
Yeah,
go.
11th place at Nationals that year. 2 years
And
ago.
now 3-0 at a local pulp event. Unstoppable, guys.
Easy. Just tag
easy.
team, dream team right here, ladies and gents.
Well, hey, I think it's about that time in the show, Calder, for another Falcon Redwing build.
Yippee!
So this one was... I don't think this one is optimized,
Okay.
guys. But it's very fun. It plays figures that I don't particularly want to play, or one figure that I don't want to play. But this is the way to stop that pesky Beetlejuice from coming in, and it's very fun how it happens. So we have the ever-forgotten Captain America. This is the MV23-007. This is the one with the Wakanda
7, what?
keyword.
Okay.
And so you might be looking at this, Ian, going, why this cap? And that's a fair question. He has fought alongside Azuri, the Wise. When establishing theme teams, other friendly characters with the Soldier keyword gain the Wakanda keyword. So I need to explore the Soldier keyword a bit more. That's where this is a bit lacking. But overall, team still functions. So essentially, we can bring over Mr. Falcon Redwing to Wakanda. And so Captain America also just has leadership, and when he uses it and succeeds, after resolutions, you may move another friendly character up 2 squares. It's not bad. He's a running shot super strength piece, though. Like, how can we make that useful? Free Mjolnir, now he's a running shot pulse wave piece.
Damn.
There you go. And now he's the best piece in the game. So the build is as follows. We've got Black Panther Prime with the +1 longsword for free. That just rocks. He's a great figure. He can also help keep our boys alive so they can keep their bystanders alive. We have Hadara Yao with the universal weapon. It's the best Wakanda piece.
Yeah.
It's too good not to. Surprisingly, pairs insanely well with Black Panther Prime as well. We have that Captain America with Mjolnir. We have Falcon and Redwing with Bucky's arm. We have the Chair Panther to say no to Beetlejuice so we can take our free actions. And then we have Dogpool, of course, for Mastermind for Falcon and Redwing. And then Forearm, because I love him, Charge Flurry and Power Piece. Nothing for Possessors this time around. So again, this one is not as optimized as the previous ones, but it was just so fun to be like, oh yeah, you can give him Wakanda. So that was my take on that. It's a team that I think you can kind of just bunch together. And sure, you might get that nasty Hadari Pulse Wave, but I think this is a team that kind of stays still, stays put. So is it going to break the meta? That's not the goal. We're just trying to make Redwing work. We're trying to keep these bystanders alive.
I love the different variations. We had
classic
a
X-Men,
good classic X-Men team.
Catch the musical.
Yep.
And
Cats
now
the musical.
Wakanda.
The Wakanda
Wakolnir.
Falcon. What?
Yeah, Mjolnir.
Wakolnir. All right.
Wakol's Cash.
All right. Let's do.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins.
Only. Wow. Ugh.
We're just throwing K words in it.
Yeah, dude. Wakol's Cash.
So this is a...
No, I don't have any vibranium tokens. I just use my Cole's Cash to represent them, actually.
If your claw was a Cole's Cash on the sideline, you may bring him into
Goodness
the
gracious. Jeez.
Everyone
I
knows
like
that.
it. I think it's kind of fun messing around with the Wakanda keyword. See
I
how
just
it goes.
never want to play Hadari Yao, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but she is the
She's
strongest
insane.
thing. Yeah.
So this team lacks a lot of stuff.
No,
Could it be
Ian,
more
the
optimized?
classic X-Men had Ariel on it.
It's true.
Interesting.
Again, probably the best piece with X-Men.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I need a ranged attacker. How about the best one?
Might as well just toss them on there really quick.
Mm-hmm. So is it optimized? Probably not.
No.
That's okay, guys. Don't worry.
Listener, let us know
play around with
if
this.
you've played any of these Falcon Redwing teams
I
that
had a
Ian
few
has
people
built.
message me.
Or, they have? Okay, sick. Yeah. Good. That's what I like to see.
Seth, calling you out by name. He had messaged me late one night. He's like, hey, can you send me over the build or the podcast where you mentioned it? He's like, I want to try those teams. I was like, heck yeah, man. Of course you can have these builds. So maybe we'll switch up the figure that I'm building with. This is probably enough Falcon and Redwing. We can start talking about Ultra Chase Collector, who did win an IC Regional in Las Vegas. I believe, in a finals match against another collector, which I love to see. Ulysses Bloodstone took 3rd and 4th place at another Icy Regional, the one in Columbus. And then a team with Chase Doom, Calder, I think a figure that was written off almost immediately, got 2nd with Ghost Rider, again getting 2nd place. He can't win a tournament, man. The super rare Ghost Rider loves to get 2nd.
He's just, I don't know, consistent, I guess, but
consistently
he has to be a
2nd?
winner.
Yeah, man. He lost to classic Hadari Al Colossus, but put up a good fight. Apparently, he was just beating on him all day. I was talking to Alec about it. So, yeah, lots of icy regionals this weekend and some really cool teams. But we don't have to dive super deep into that. I just wanted to shout out that Collector won something.
Heck yeah.
I love that.
Shout it out. Right on. We've got a couple of questions on our Discord server. If you want to join our Discord, it is Patreon exclusive. Go to patreon.com/dialhpodcast. Go ahead, toss us some cashola there, and you get access to our limited edition, super cool, super secret Discord server, where we truly do have one of the best Heroclix communities in our Discord server. So if you want to support everything that we do, go ahead and check us out on Patreon. Supercab 007 asks, where does Prime Namor fit into the meta? Is it not his time yet? He's really cool, and I think he's really hard to chew through, but I don't quite know if 200-point tent, as far as like 200-point tent poles go, I don't think Prime Namor is the one I would reach for right now.
I think you could make him work, but the way that he would work, I think, is really boring. Like, I think he's a great option for Beetlejuice to come in. Like, he makes 2 bystanders that Beetlejuice can just kill off every turn.
True.
You can stop their free actions. You can limit their mobility. You can play stuff like the traffic barrel and then just look to score low points and not die. I hate playing that way.
Yeah, it's
Is it Prime
gross.
Namor's time? I don't think so. Do I think you could make it work? Yeah. He fits somewhere. But I'm not going to be the person to discover that. He's not my cup of tea. Just that.
Fair enough.
That's it.
Captain Awesome asks, given the current state of mechanics in the game, equipment, pilot abilities, vehicles, special terrain, etc., do you think a 60-piece James Bond set could be well done? Any ideas on what you would include? I don't know. James Bond super, super well.
I don't either.
I don't know about 60 pieces. I think, what are the characters I can think of? So there's James Bond. There's Q.
Odd Job.
There's Odd Job. There is...
James Bond again.
The evil... Yeah, you could do all 8 or 9 James Bonds, right? You could do the different versions. Shifting Focus James Bond, and it's just a different one. There's, Mads Mikkelsen in Casino Royale. There's the villain from Skyfall. There's the villain from the other Daniel Craig James Bond movie that I've seen. The one with the weird half face and the fake city he makes. It's like his long-lost brother or something.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I've only really seen like the more recent James Bond films and the really goofy like 90s one where they thought technology would be way more advanced or, what the 90s thought future technology would be. So it's just kind of weird.
So much code.
So much
dude. Leather.
I'm in. I'm through their firewall. I'm in.
No, this mainframe isn't a joke.
I think James Bond would be great for an Iconics. I think if you did like this movie, that'd be really cool for James Bond. I know it's like his car is like a really unique thing in some of the movies. So if you wanted to do James Bond, I would say probably Iconics is the best way to go.
60 figures is so much.
I feel like for a lot of properties outside of big comic books where you can pull from a lot of different things, a 60 figure set is pretty tough to do. I think for James Bond, choose like some of the movies, give them Iconics, and I'd be down for that.
If you did like even like just James Bond and like 4 equipment,
that'd be sick,
cool.
dude. Yeah.
Throw in like the villain of
keep
your
it
choice.
To like the most iconic of the most iconic stuff, and just have it be really consolidated. That'd be really sick. That's not what a fan wants to hear. A fan wants to hear this, and this. Like that's what a fan wants, right? But I think like a really consolidated, just strong James Bond. Like,
I just can't imagine being like, what'd you get in your case of James Bond? Like that's so much James Bond.
It is a lot.
I honestly...
A lot of dudes in suits.
Now realizing I'm really not familiar with James Bond at all. Wasn't familiar with your game, Mr. Bond.
No.
Like at all.
No, dude.
It's been a while since I've seen any of those
handful.
Movies. Yeah, I remember watching Skyfall.
Skyfall's so good. So good.
What was the one before that, though?
Was it not Casino Royale? Was there one between Skyfall and Casino Royale?
It's not the one I'm thinking of. Either way,
Daniel Craig, James Bond.
we don't need to look
We
this
don't
up.
need to go
It's
down
okay.
this rabbit hole.
I'll remember it later and go, that one.
There we go. Sounds good for me.
How about Tom Cruise? Mission Impossible.
Oh, Mission
set.
Impossible?
Yeah, Mission Impossible against James Bond crossover set. Now we're talking probably 100.
Who's he? Is
figures.
Jason Bourne in that? No, it's the Bourne
No,
Ultimatum
I
movies.
was
Jeez, goodness gracious. Who does Tom Cruise play in Mission
That one
Impossible?
froze me. I was
Yeah,
like,
I'm
no.
sorry. Those movies are like the same. The Bourne Ultimatum movies and
James
Mission
Bond.
Impossible, those are like the same. Those are like the same movies.
With the same movie.
They are though.
You're gonna pick a
All I
Bond
know
with
is
me.
that one thing where it's JC, it's Jason Bourne or whatever, like that like meme, which is hilarious.
It's James Bond.
I don't even think Statham is in those.
No,
Okay, I was
not.
like, what do you? Okay,
but now he is.
I would take an Expendables 400, an Expendables starter. No, what do you mean? Dolph Lundgren, Sylvester Stallone, Chuck Norris, Jason Statham. Like, just the. What do you mean? When will I get my
was
crank?
that
When will I get my
Aqua
crank iconics, dude?
How about, what was it, Skyscraper? Just like the
Skyscraper with The Rock.
worst action
I thought that movie was fake when I saw that trailer. I was like, this is such an over-the-top fake
Yeah, dude,
movie.
that-
Oh, it's real? What?
We need that. Too.
We didn't get our,
talked enough about
our
Rock
weekly
and
input
Heroclix,
of
so.
how much we hate The Rock. No, I was about to say
I
we have
don't
to
like
get our.
him. I really don't like him. I haven't seen anything from him yet where I'm like, I like this guy.
I love Rundown.
He's not a bad guy.
I love Rundown so much. We got to watch Rundown.
He's the same person in every movie.
He is.
Any actor who does that kind of sucks.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know.
I hate
I'm trying
Tom
to think
Holland.
of other examples. Tom Holland kind of is the same
Yeah,
character
dude.
in the movie, isn't he?
He like ruined Uncharted. As soon as I heard he was cast,
How
as
the heck was he Nathan?
I
Dude.
know, dude. That was just like
He does
don't
not
do
look
this.
rugged enough for that. That's a boy.
Nathan Drake's a
Nathan
rugged
Drake's a man.
mid 35-year-old man. Yeah, and Sully is not Mark Wahlberg. I'm sorry, Mark Wahlberg. No, yeah, no. That just ain't it. We did get a email. This is probably the first time in a hot minute we've got an email. So shout out to Tucker for writing us one. He is getting into the game of Heroclix again. So he said, I hope you're all doing well. I first got into Heroclix when it launched. He picked it up at GameStop of all places. Wild to think Heroclix was sold at GameStop at one point in time. And then he said he dove in really hard. And, life happened, took a long hiatus. And then he got back in around Secret Invasion, which, dude, great set. Jinx, like great set to get back into. Secret Invasion rocks. And then he says he's coming back now with Collector's Trove pre-release. Dude.
That's a jump from
So many
from the
years.
beginning to Secret Invasion is a jump.
Yeah. And then
Go
from
from here
like
to there.
roughly Secret Invasion time, 2008-ish to 2000, probably played until it died, I guess, I would assume. Roughly,
Yeah,
right?
probably. I mean, that's
And then-
shortly before it was like,
Yeah.
on its hiatus for a year, which was so sad.
Yeah.
I was heartbroken.
And then it said he found a great community of about, small group, about 6 players, got into the dupes box, a lot of free stuff, Kerr from Notorious, Deadpool Weapon X, Massive Time, Black Panther, all that stuff, which once again, shout out to the Heroclix community for getting new players into the game and being so given to a lot of people that kind of need these bases for their collection, especially in like a lot of stuff I talked about, like pulp tournaments and stuff. There's a lot of good stuff you can make out of Kerr and a lot of fun you can have. So it's really cool. And he's getting up to speed with like how force construction works, piece reviews, and he says our show's been helping him with that. So I'm really, once again, Tucker, super glad that you're able to kind of use this as a resource as you get back into the game. It's like a ton of fun. And he says he'd love to hear your thoughts on how you would approach Heroclix as a new player if you were starting fresh, like today. What would you do? What kind of teams would you put together using Kerr around $30 or so? Or, what would be a good budget, $30 for a more expensive piece? Would you buy boosters, knowing that you would maybe pull? Would you buy singles of the team that you're theory crafting / tested with borrowed pieces? He's not trying to hit crazy top tables. He's just looking for something fun and won't get totally steamrolled at a local scene. Honestly, I would feel pretty confident about bringing this pulp team to a local modernish event. If I'm being
Sure.
real, I felt like fairly comfortable with this. So a lot of good pulp stuff that we talked about here is really solid. As far as, when I first got into the game of Heroclix, I did not buy any real sealed product at all. But, I had a weird case where I didn't have a venue for a really long time. So I exclusively bought singles of characters I liked. I just kind of went through, like, at the time, HC Realms, and was like clicking on figures, clicking on keywords, figuring out like what all Avengers and soldiers there were, because I knew I liked Captain America, so I wanted to build like figures around him. So I bought like a lot of soldier support characters, Avengers support like characters that I'd want to build my team around. So I kind of found, who's my favorite character, what's some of my favorite keywords, and then I just decided to go and buy a lot of those singles. So when I was new and getting into the game, I very much used like Troll and Toad, Cool Stuff Inc., bought a ton of singles, so I knew I was getting like exactly the figures that I wanted to get, right? And as far as like trying to be your best, honestly, you're going to be kind of just bad for a couple of months. That's how I was at the very least. Not everybody is this way necessarily.
It's just a matter of like
just learning.
High skill ceiling games or high complexity games. It's, it's a curve. And so like progress isn't just like, 45 degrees, like you just keep getting better.
No.
It's more so like an ignition where it's like you're kind of low and then it's like, oh, and then it clicks.
Yeah.
So you do have to look at it as a way of like, you have to lose for a little bit. And then when when you start realizing like what you're losing to, what you can do better, if you analyze those things appropriately, I think you can get like really good really quickly. I've seen it happen with so many players.
Yeah.
Most prominently like Alex Mater.
Yeah, dude, insane. Him getting back into the game and then being a national
within
champion.
Within a
year being a national champion, that's nuts. That's insane to go from like a crazy long break.
Like 6 months, 6 months ago, he's like, wait, they show off figures on the HC Realms forums? I'm like, yeah, you can check out all their dials there. And then, like 6 months later, he's like winning nationals.
Yeah.
It's like if you
nuts
want
story,
to get
though.
into the game, I'm not saying that's your goal either. As far as like acquisition goes too, I agree with you for the most part early on.
Yeah.
Just picking up the,
Play
relying
some
on your
sealed
locals.
Events, get some free stuff from your locals, get the figures. Like, I know when I would get free stuff, I'd be like, I didn't get any Captain Americas. What in the world? And so then I would like go out of my way and I would like look for like the ones I wanted and I'd buy them, buy singles. But really kind of what I want to really get to for like what I was saying is like you're going to lose for a few months. You have to have fun playing the figures that you like, and you have to be okay with like losing, and you have to have fun losing. That's what I learned really early on in Heroclix, to where like nowadays, I'll play like an Ian vented team and I'll feel great and I'll like win a bunch of, I'll go so-so or like whatever, right? But every once in a while, I'll build a horrible team, just an truly awful team. But it's got figures.
Do that.
Oh, I love doing it. I totally can. I'll play like the Great Lakes Avengers or something. They have like such little anything to help them out. Or I'll play like I don't know. The team the other day had like no support powers on it, right? It was like all Captain Americas. Like not really a good team. Not like no TK, no nothing. I was like, I love it. I love playing bad teams. Like that's my roots right there. I love playing a team that's not min-max. So I can have fun losing. You can have fun winning. And that's just kind of what you have to keep in mind, is that if you're truly here to just have fun, you don't have to worry about buying a $30 piece to get you, so I don't get steamrolled at locals.
It is fun though.
That's
a lot of fun. I mean, I still remember like the big purchase I made. Like the first figure I like spent money on, I paid $50 for a Web of Spider-Man Super Rare Deadpool, and I played him like every week for so long. Like, oh my gosh! So sometimes, if like, man, this piece, I know I'm going to just jam out with it. Yeah. Sometimes it's like, throw your eggs in that basket. Go get that figure. It really depends on the type of player, the type of person you are. Like, what do you want,
I think at the time,
you can have anything you want.
I spent like $15 on Hammer of Thor Captain America. And like my buddy was like, dude, he's only a rare. Why would you ever spend 15? Then I played him like every single game. And I'm like, this guy rocks.
What he got banned. Amazing. He got banned, and not my local Play Store, but in my group, they're just like, we're so sick of this guy.
Oh man,
he's the man.
He is the man.
So can I play him? Like, no.
So yeah, like
I'm playing him.
Find a character you like playing, and then there's some really solid ones. Honestly, there's some relatively like cheap primes. If you want to play like the Captain America prime, like he's relatively cheap. He's like really solid. Gives your team a lot of legs to stand on. Just find your favorite characters. There's more than likely there's a relatively good version of that character that you can like build around. You can check out if it's like a mainstay character, a Spider-Man, a Batman, a Captain America, whatever. Right? You'll be able to have like a lot of fun. So that's
another thing too. I think that you can do is like start with like higher point pieces. I think the less stuff you have in front of you, the more
gives you less like
analytical
decision
you can
paralysis or anything. Yeah, play some more higher point stuff.
This guy does this, and you can familiarize with that. And then it's like, okay, well, now I'm going to take my 100-point piece and break it into two 50-point characters. I think the less you throw at yourself when you're first starting out, the better. Yeah. If you're playing with people on equal footing as well, I mean, that's really ideal. Unless, you want to go to like Lucas's boot camp and get ripped into 300 modern shape.
Yeah, dude. South Dakota is tough. Even when it's quote unquote casual night, it ain't casual night.
No,
ain't nobody's building casually. Ain't no one's building like whatever.
But also, with all of this said, there's going to be the high shelf, the high price pieces. You're going to want to play them. It just happens.
Yeah.
I've had plenty of stuff I want to play that I don't know.
I can't wait to get that figure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So reach out to the people around you. Like, don't be afraid to borrow stuff. Like, I mean, my collection, so much of it is largely dormant. So when people want to play stuff, that's totally fine. It's like, yeah, I can bring that.
When I was playing my most 300 modern in like the 2018-ish to like 2021-ish era, right? I didn't own half my team, more than half. It's like 60-70% of my team. I probably didn't own it. The figure I played the most, like in 2021 until around like 2023, whenever it rotated, Super Rare
Jason
Flash.
Wingard?
Oh no, Super Rare Flash.
Oh.
I never owned one. I always sold him right away. Every time I got a Super Rare Flash, sold him. Sky Tyrant, I never owned a Sky Tyrant for longer than a week. Like I just borrowed a ton of figures because I was like, I don't like Barry Allen. I don't like the Flash. I'm like not a fan of his. I don't like Hawkman.
I like him ×4.
I don't like evil, blood, evil Hawkman, deceased Hawkman, whatever. So like, I don't want to own.
Got some really cool comic
not
panels.
Deceased. Sorry, I meant whoever Sky Tyrant is. Like I don't care about that character. I don't want to own him. I care about characters. Those are what I want to own. I never really own anything because it's purely just for meta. I'm gonna own it because I like the character or I like building around it.
Unfortunately, I like meta.
Oh well,
So
I like
me
playing in the
wanna
meta,
own
but I don't want to own any of that stuff. Like there's like very few. Like I own Micron. I love Micron. I don't know anything about him as a character. I guess I've got
don't
him.
need to. He's cool.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he's cool. But like, yeah, if a figure's like $90, like Flash was $90. Why would I ever keep this if I could borrow it?
Because you have to see the math that you're failing to understand.
Yeah.
I did not pay $90 for this.
Right. Neither did I.
I
Holding
know.
a booster.
Exactly. So it's
There's
like,
no reason not to get $90.
this Scarab was like $12. I bought that from a
it's
booster
not
on
not at
sale.
all how my brain works.
Or it's like there was a lot of stuff that was like those Sentinels from XDPS, right?
Oh, sure.
I loved those things. I had like 23 at one point.
Yeah.
But nobody wanted them early on. So I was paying like $6-7 for them. And they shot up to like $30-40. Everyone was looking for them. So I just started trading off that. I still have probably 12 or 13 of them. But I would use that to trade for like higher value figures, like stuff like that. So it's like in my mind, it's like I paid roughly like $20 for these. I traded those up for something. So this piece that I got, like part of that went towards a Venom Magneto.
Sure.
So I've always been able to
It's
justify
nuts.
keeping him because it's like, I traded stuff that was like valuable at the time, like equivalent value, and it's like I didn't pay anywhere near that. Same thing with Flash. Like early on, I was like, I knew this guy was going to be absurdly expensive.
Oh yeah, it's nuts.
I was at work refreshing Facebook, just going, who has a Flash? Who's got Flash? I will trade for Flash. I'll overtrade for Flash. What do you want for Flash?
So funny.
Because I had to have him.
Yeah.
I had 5 at one point. That was dumb.
That is silly.
But, that back then you could play 5. And I did play 5. And it was
Fair enough.
a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
let me tell you.
Absolutely.
Power Gem on Flash. Arc Arms on Flash. Like so much stupid equipment. And then
Love.
Dark Prime Dark Beast to give him additional powers. Yeah. Anyway. Sorry, I derailed a bit.
That's roughly how we would buy Heroclix if we were getting into it, or how we did buy Heroclix when we were getting into the game. Kind of what we would look at.
Honestly, yeah. Find the specific things you want. Start there.
Yeah.
And then if there's a set you really like, yeah, man, just jump in.
Yeah,
It's okay.
So I bought singles for the longest time until eventually I was like a brick guy. I always bought like a brick of something. And then there was a good few years where I bought like a case, and we talked about this, like Wonder Woman, Captain America, like sets that I love or that I know. Wonder Woman was like just a smart business decision. Honestly, that set was just like
That was strictly business.
purely business. I made so much money off Wonder Woman; it was ridiculous. It was awesome.
And that happens.
And that's the way it goes too. And sometimes that's part of the fun. I remember when I had a guest over in my apartment at Wonder Woman time, and I just opened up like the 4 cases of Wonder Woman, and all the boosters and plastic and figures are still on the table, and they were just like, "Your house is." This is gross. And I'm like, oh, that's nothing. Well, that's like the most it's ever been.
This ain't nothing to me, man.
This ain't nothing to me, man. I'm flipping bricks.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. But yeah, like
Now our house just looks like that kind of all the time.
kind of all the time. It's just kind of always got Heroclix. It's got a
Just-
whole box full of boosters.
Yeah.
A box full of Kana leaves right there.
Yeah.
Cool. That's neat.
It rocks.
It rules. I love Heroclix.
Wouldn't have it any
Love
other
looking
way,
at 'em.
honestly.
It rules. He also wanted to say, like, he'd love to hear how you approach powers and abilities in today's game. This might be a basic question, but I'd be interested in a competitive player's perspective on how to use the powers and abilities effectively. For example, things like barrier. How do you flex this in actual play? You know, what abilities are quote-unquote useless? I don't think any abilities are fully useless. I feel like maybe costed smoke cloud when there's no extra benefit on a character. Like, that's kind of a tough sell. Like, why would I ever really do that? I think as much as I love incapacitate, damage over an action token is almost always better. So it's only really worth it if it's an action token in addition to damage, like the Deadpool or like the Spider-Man. It's like things like that. Don't fall into like, oh yeah, if I can just incap the team a whole bunch. But it's like, well, you don't get points off incap. You get points off killing something.
Yeah,
you know?
And there's so many ways to remove tokens today.
So many.
Yeah, incap is not what it used to be.
Sadly. As far as things like barrier goes, you know, you want to like defensive barrier right away. You know, a really good tactic is to ask your opponent, do you have a TK? Do you have a perplex? What move and attack do you have? Or look at what move and attack they have. And typically what I do on the first or second turn, I count out whatever their maximum like square reach might be, right? So you kind of want to see, okay, if they TK, that's 4. If they running shot, maybe that's another 4. Their range is 5, etc. You know, figure out what that is. And then move your team up as far as you feel comfortable. But typically a buffer square in between their maximum reach, roughly, and then maybe barrier up. Or if you want to move closer, good things like using the map to your advantage, barriering when you're up on elevated doesn't really give them a lot of space to move into your team. Using elevated on one side of you or natural like blocking terrain or walls. If there's a lot of walls on the map, you can basically double barrier, put there's a wall and then a piece of blocking in between your team. That's a lot to chew through. Things like that is really good for barrier. Just kind of manipulating the terrain of the map and what you have for yourself. If it's relatively open, then try to look at sight lines, maybe stick to the side of the map to get the most use out of your barrier. Things like that, I guess, is what I'd probably say.
There's the Trinity as old as time. I mean, barrier, barrier is primarily defensive. And the thing is like, you don't have to look at barrier as like, okay, this tool is going to keep me from getting hit 100%. If barrier also just wastes your opponent's actions, like if it slows down the economy of their turn, aka instead of me attacking you twice, one of my attacks is now blowing something up, then you've slowed them down. That's good. But the Trinity for as long as time is prob, perplex, outwit. Probability control, probably the most important power in the game from a meta perspective, because you have to roll dice. You have to hit attacks to hit. That allows you to reroll. Perplex, this gives you better chance to hit, to not be hit, to give you that bonus reach. Like, it's a universal tool to improve your game, so perplex is always useful. And then outwit, stripping people of powers, stopping people from doing things, like stopping your opponent, again, destroying the economy of their turn, maybe making them change what they're doing based on that is always very good. The number one thing, I think, casually, competitive, like however you're playing, if you want your team to perform well, I think you need a leadership. Plus one action, turn. It's just, I mean, it's night and day difference when you have 3 or 4 actions. You feel hurt when you got 3. And then, in general, telekinesis as well.
Yeah.
Telekinesis gets you in position to do things. But that's not to say that other powers can't, like you have to play with these all the time. There's plenty of teams where I'm like, I maybe have 1 perplex. That's fine. But as far as probability control goes, if I don't have 1 on my team, I'm nervous. Because that means my dice have to be, like, flawless. And then if my opponent's making me reroll and I'm still, like,
you're scared.
Hitting, and now I'm missing, it's like, rolling a 7 once and rolling a 7 twice statistically are a little different. So, if you build on hcunits.net, which if you don't know that website, everyone should check that out.
Oh my gosh.
Every time you build a team, it has a little checkbox at the top for TK, prob, perplex, outwit, and leadership. Those are all things I think you generally want on a team. Do you have to have them on every team? No. There's plenty of teams that can just go across the map, drop off your team. You don't need TK in that situation. There are plenty of teams that buff their stats naturally, or like by sharing values, with like Sinister Syndicate team ability, what have you. So perplex isn't as necessary. Sometimes in the meta, there's a lot of like cosmic energy or protected outwit, so outwit's not as viable. So that's kind of a sliding scale. And then when you think about just like other powers in general, there's access to so many things through equipment. So that's a big thing to look at too. Like, I'm sure as a new player, you've experienced like, man, like if this character just had this 1 power, finding equipment to make a character better is always a good thing from like a competitive standpoint. But the most important thing, I think, building is when you're making your team, you have to decide what you want the team to do. So let's take a figure, for example. Calder, give me one. Anything.
Oh, geez. War Machine.
War Machine?
Sure.
Just the rare War Machine?
Rare War Machine, yeah.
So he's a running shot precision strike piece. He's got some support powers of his own. He's like 125 points. What is this guy doing? He's a ranged attacker. So then we can start thinking, like, what would make that better? Telekinesis would be a great power to get him out there so he can running shot further, shoot, make sure he gets his shot off. I mean, 125 points is a big investment. We want to make sure he's getting off. And then things like Empower. He's a ranged attacker. Empower is going to give us that +1 damage at range. But then we have to think about how do we get the Empower next to him, so somebody who can help mobilize them. So then with a character like War Machine who has 125 points, a majority of your build is probably going to be centered around range attacking. So now you have to think about, how am I keeping that space? How am I keeping people alive? How am I engaging? How am I making my damage stick? How am I making sure my attacks hit? So now you're building around like a range style. Something like, a brawler piece, though. It's like, am I TKing this out? Does he have enough reach to get across? Should I just carry him up? Hope he lives, start attacking? Can he free attack? So defining your archetype. Am I playing primarily defensively, offensively? Am I looking to live? Am I a glass cannon? The quicker that you can discern what you are trying to do with your team, I think the more success you'll see in building. And if you optimize in a direction rather than like, hey, all of these things are just good pieces, you'll have more success.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we should just do a full episode on that. Maybe I can convince Alec to do that with me.
There you go. There you go.
I love talking about stuff like that. And yeah, quick plug for other show, I guess. Another Heroclix podcast. We went over the gauntlet for the meta recently. We did like a 2-hour episode on what you can expect to see across from you. So if you want to know more on why you might see those things, you can dive into that. And that is just another Heroclix podcast hosted by Heroclix USA. He's a great guy. And yeah, I talk differently on this show than I do on that show. Like, we like to get in the nitty gritty of like, this figure does specifically this. So yeah, Heroclix, dude.
Love it.
Just went off.
Can't get enough of it, dog. Nah, it's good
Go
stuff.
on and on and on and on and on.
Thank you so much, Tucker, for writing into the show. If you want to be like Tucker and send us an email, you can do so at dialhforheroclix@gmail.com. If you ever want to write into the show, you can also send us a Facebook message on Dial H for Heroclix Podcast on Facebook. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you had an absolute blast. And remember, for all of your Heroclix unboxings, podcasts, videos, and more, make sure you dial H. And like always...
This is the end. Hold your breath and count to 10. Feel the earth move and then hear my heart burst again. For this is the end. Drowned and dreamt this moment, so overdue I owe them.
Happy trails.
That's the end of the show.